And we back. Now, one of the reasons I love sports so much is because everything is up for interpretation. Who's the greatest player to ever do it? We may have different answers. Who's going to win the championship? We may have different answers. And the best part is that nobody is wrong. But, you know, some of the interpretations that y'all come up with is a little weird. And today we taking a look at some of those weird things. Derrick Rose is a bust. Somebody, can you believe that?
I think so.
You think? So if you want to put in the application to be my new girlfriend,
Excuse you.
hit me up on Twitter, cause my current girlfriend don't got no respect.
I was kidding.
She was kidding. Okay, no, no, Derrick Rose was not a bust because he met expectations for what? 6-7 years before injuries start to hit him. You feel me? He was the youngest MVP of all time. You cannot MVP and bust. They don't go together. There are plenty of players that don't end up winning championships. You feel me? Some of the greatest players of all time don't end up winning the championship. So I don't understand how this could. It don't really. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I'm gonna read through the comments and see if we got somebody that agree with this, because somebody got to fill me in. A draft bust occurs when a highly touted or highly selected draftee does not meet expectations. That's facts. A player is also regarded as a larger bust if more successful players are drafted after him or her. So yes, by definition, Derrick Rose is a bust. Y'all got me about to hit the Googles, man. This is something I'm very passionate about, all right? Okay. This is the 2008 draft class. What player after Derrick Rose has accomplished more than Derrick Rose? Him and Russell Westbrook both have MVP awards. You feel me? Both have MVP awards, all right? OJ Mayo, Michael Beasley, cut it out. Kevin Love, arguably, because he has 2 championships, but nobody else on this list is even close to what Derrick Rose was. We got like 6 or 7 amazing years of Derrick. Look at these numbers. Look at these numbers. Youngest MVP to ever do it. 17 points per game, 21, 25, 22, injury hit. Man, injury hit. Yeah, that's kind of trash. But then, like, even when he came back, he was pretty good. I just don't understand this. I just don't understand this, especially since there's only like one player that you can argue has had a better career, and that's Russell Westbrook. Is he a draft bust? No. Russell Westbrook will win a ring before James Harden. It's impossible to know. I hate these type of questions because I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I would say right now, James Harden is closer to winning the championship than Russell Westbrook, but anything can happen in the offseason to make the OKC Thunder a better team or to make the Houston Rockets a worse team. So it's impossible to know who's going to win a ring first. James Harden's closer. Again, the best team in the league record-wise. But who's going to win it? I don't know. And it could end up being neither of them ever win a championship, you know? So I don't like these. Damian Lillard is overrated. Listen, the Twitterverse is crazy because people are actually saying this based off 3 games, okay? For the entire regular season, Damian Lillard has been lights out. For me, he's an MVP candidate. I think I had him tied for number 4 with Anthony Davis. He's been an MVP candidate the entire year. You take a look at the Portland Trail Blazers roster on paper, they outperformed their expectation this year, and a lot of that is due to Damian Lillard. So he has 3 bad games because the Pelicans, a whole lot of respect for the Pelicans, is they figured out a way to basically defend him perfectly. They did a lot of scouting. And they found a way to just pretty much neutralize him. And it just happened at the worst stage because everybody's watching. Not everybody watched the 82 games of the regular season, but everybody watches the playoffs. Now, the crazy thing is, I could go through this page and probably find another post where somebody asked, is Damian Lillard underrated? And here it is. It was just a month ago. Just a month ago, they were asking, is he underrated? But since he got 3 bad games, and trust me, they have been bad games, I picked them to win the series in 7, and it looked like they may end up getting swept, that is a huge explosion of like defeat. They've been bad. They've been really bad. But you can't say he's overrated because of it. You feel me? He's hit some really big shots. Think about a couple years ago against Houston. Those were some big shots. He's known for a guy to come into the clutch. It just hasn't happened in the playoffs so far. But he's not overrated. Trust me, he's not overrated. Bam Adebayo will be the next Dwight Howard. Probably not. Now, Bam Adebayo is a guy that surprised me a lot this year. But prime Dwight Howard was a monster. I talk about Shaq being the most dominant player I've ever got to see. Dwight Howard is not far on that list. And I know right now it's hard to believe that if you haven't been a fan of the NBA for a long time. Because right now, at least for the past couple of years, basically since he hit LA, it just seems like he doesn't care about the sport sometime, or it's just not as good. But prime Dwight, he led a team with Jameer Nelson, Rashad Lewis, Hedo Turkoglu, JJ Redick to a championship series. Now, they did lose, but he led them to the championship game. Like, there was nobody in the league basically that could stop Dwight Howard. And I don't see that in Bam Adebayo. Do they play similar? I guess you can say that. Defensively, they're very, very stout. But Dwight Howard, multiple-time defensive player of the year. That, like, offensively and defensively, Dwight Howard was a monster. And Bam Adebayo might end up being a great NBA player too, but I don't think he's going to hit the ceiling that Dwight Howard did. Brandon Ingram has a higher ceiling than Ben Simmons. I don't think so. One thing that I can say, of course, about Brandon Ingram is that he shoots the ball better. But on other aspects of basketball, I think Ben Simmons has him beat. Facilitating / playmaking. Brandon Ingram did surprise me this year when Lonzo Ball was out. He basically took over as the point guard. But even then, he wasn't as good as a facilitator that Ben Simmons is. Defensively, Ben Simmons may be on an all-defensive team this first year as a rookie. So defensively, he's got Brandon Ingram beat. I just don't see that Brandon Ingram has a higher ceiling. Both of them have high ceilings. I think Brandon Ingram is going to be a multiple-time All-Star in his NBA career, but I could see Ben Simmons being an MVP one day, you know? So it's basically the old thing of MVP versus just a multiple-time All-Star. Both are amazing accomplishments, but I think Ben Simmons he's going to be one of the best players in the league for a long time. The Heat will beat the Sixers. I think in my prediction video, I said Sixers in 6 or Sixers in 7, and I still stick by that. I just think that the Sixers are just a better team. It's no deeper than that. I like this series, though. This has been one of the more fun series because though the Miami Heat may not have the extreme firepower that sometimes the Philadelphia 76ers comes out with all the three-point shots, they definitely go on their runs. And they got chips on their shoulders. And they got an old Dwayne Wade who just dropped 20 plus the other game. I really like their team and all, but I just think Philly's just a better squad. And Hassan Whiteside, can somebody call him up and see what's wrong with him? Because the man ain't done nothing in 3 games of this series. And for them to end up winning this series, he's got to do something. Just something. 4 points, 4 rebounds, whatever he's averaging in the playoffs that's bad. And I saw somebody on Twitter reply to me when I was just talking about how bad Hassan Whiteside has been. They said, I wouldn't be surprised if he takes a Roy Hibbert step. Do y'all remember a couple years ago, Roy Hibbert just he didn't do anything in the playoffs for the Pacers. Then after that, he just fell off the face of the planet, traded here, ended up in Denver, didn't play. Then he ended up in Milwaukee, got waived. Just can you imagine? Can you imagine? And there are some parallels, so it could happen, but they need Hassan to do something if they want to win this series. Zach LaVine is the biggest part of the Bulls' future. I don't agree with that. I love Zach LaVine to death, but I think that Larry Marketing is the centerpiece of our organization. But there are 3. There are 3 pieces that we just see a bright future in. It's Zach LaVine, Larry Marketing, and Chris Dunn. Those are the 3. But if I had to pick one, it would be Larry Marketing. 2 be Zach LaVine. And then 3, it would be Chris Dunn. And Larry Marketing and Zach LaVine are pretty close. But since Larry is younger, I just think he's the guy. If that makes any sense, his ceiling maybe just a little bit higher than Zach LaVine, who's already been in the league for a couple years. But hey, bright things here in Chicago. I mean, not right now. It's going to take a minute. But bright things are in the future. The Bucks are one of the most overrated teams. I don't think so. I don't think they're overrated. I just think that they have no identity, man. A couple years ago when Jason Kidd came, they surprised the world, made the playoffs. That's because of their amazing defense. They changed defensive schemes, and they were good. They were a long, lengthy team. Their whole star lineup had wingspans out of this world, and they were cutting past the lanes, grabbing steals. But now here we are a couple years later, and they just basically have no identity. Giannis is their star piece, but they don't have pieces around Giannis to be successful. That's why in this offseason, depending on how the rest of the series goes against Boston, don't be surprised if some of the main players on the Bucks get traded for pieces that could fit around Giannis more. And since we're talking about the Bucks, tomorrow, which is Sunday the 22nd, I will be in Milwaukee attending Game 4 against the Boston Celtics. Now, don't think of this as a crazy event where I'm going to be sitting courtside or I'm going to be on the court like some of the other YouTubers are. No, I'm going to be in the stands. But if you're going to be at Game 4 and you want to meet, just follow me on Twitter and I'm going to be tweeting where I'm going to be at. And we can meet. We can take pictures. If you watch the vlog that we did from back when we did the Bulls game, that was like that's one of the best days ever because I actually got to meet so many people. So I want to meet you. If you're going to be at the game, hit me up. All right. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave it a like. I'll be back. Peace.